even God is what? Balanced in his own self. And so what we're going to do is we're going to bring up a wonderful sister. And let me just say a word about her. She is a vanguard, a young MGT. She is the mother of my granddaughter, which means she's my daughter. And she is a person that has embraced the message of Islam, and she is a strong warrior for the truth that she has accepted. I thank Allah for her, and I know that she is going to impart some wisdom that she has gotten by her own relationship with God here to you today. It is so beautiful as a parent to see your children embrace Allah, embrace his messenger, embrace the divine man and the message, and establish a relationship with their God themselves. That's how you know you've done something right. Is that right?
Come on.
So let us bring up our wonderful sister Demoiselle Muhammad.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. And we forever thank Allah for coming in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad. And we thank him for raising that one, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, to lead, teach, and guide us back to the right path. And we further thank Allah for showing his love and mercy by giving us a gift. And that gift is none other than the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And in their righteous names, I would like to greet the people of God in the greeting words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. My brief talk today will be on how to raise a God. Today, we are having a youth day. But is being a part of the youth someone under the age of 18? Most would say yes, and that is true. But according to Webster's dictionary, another meaning of the word youth is the early period of existence, growth, or development. By that definition, we all are the youth. That's right. We have enrolled in a new school of the most exquisite wisdom imaginable, which was established here in America to prepare for us a new world, a God's kingdom, which is now growing to include all of the people of the earth. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad has said that we are in the kindergarten of Master Prophet Muhammad's wisdom. That's right. We are moving upward in our learning in this classroom or kindergarten, which has stages that we as a people have gone through from the 1930s until where we are in the present. Yes. That's right. Master Prophet Muhammad taught the Honorable Elijah Muhammad the utmost of meanings of the Bible and the Holy Quran. And in turn, he taught us what his teacher has taught him. That's right. Which was how to raise a God. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said in this classroom, oftentimes we make mention of the mosque being a hospital, but it's also a school. And when you go to any school or university, they have a staff of teachers. That's right. But it's called the staff. And that staff is designed to get the student from a freshman to a senior to graduation. Come on. So it is with the prophetic community. God has sent men and women into the world to guide human beings to a better, greater knowledge of himself. But something about the human being that no matter how perfect the teaching is, We just seem to have a tendency to deviate by adding to what God has revealed. And by adding to, we take away from.
Come on.
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has said, "He who gives the diameter of your knowledge prescribes the circumference of your activity." If you gain a limited knowledge, then you restrict the possibilities of what you can and will achieve.
That's right.
The capacity of man's brain is infinite. Therefore, the greater one's knowledge grows, the greater the sphere of activity until it encompasses and reflects mastery of self and master of the universe.
That's right.
The knowledge of God is infinite.
Right.
And leaving God out of our schools limits our education and confines the scope of what we are equipped to do and achieve.
That's right.
We pay taxes like every other citizen. Is that right?
That's right.
But our taxes support a school system that does not feed us, does not educate us,
Right.
and does not qualify us.
Right.
Our youth are suffering. And in truth, it is not their fault. In the public school system in America, they do not like to teach black people the history of our own involvement or our sojourn in America
That's right.
and before the Mayflower. They don't want to teach us back that far, because if they did, it will make every one of our young boys and girls know something great about themselves.
That's right.
And if the young knew that they are descendants from great people, then they would know what to expect of themselves. Not mediocrity, but greatness. Jesus said, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." If you think that you are nothing, then that is just exactly what you will be. Nothing.
That's right.
Walking around with no aim or purpose. If you think that you are just a basketball player, you have reduced yourself down to something that animals can do. They teach dogs and seals how to put a ball through a hoop. But if we look at our children and tell them that you don't have to be the next black president of the United States of America, but that you can and you will be the gods and goddesses of the universe.
That's right.
But brothers and sisters, be aware that you can never act like God if you think like a devil. Think about what and who you are. If you don't love yourself or think highly of yourself, then nobody else can love you or think highly of you either.
That's right.
If we don't love ourselves, we cannot come into unity with each other, which will give us the strength and the power necessary to change the conditions under which we live. If we once gave civilization to the world, what happened to us that we are now not doing what our fathers once did? It is because both the Bible and the Holy Quran says that the people of God, and we are these people of God, will go into bondage into a land, a strange land, among a strange people for 400 years, and will go to sleep.
That's right.
You will go to sleep, meaning that you will not know yourself or anyone else. Have you ever heard the expression, "The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world"?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, what's wrong with the world today? What's wrong with the world today is that there are no strong men in it. And if there are no strong men in the world, that says something about the condition of the woman.
Come on.
The reason that there are not strong men in the world to take charge of this destiny is because the woman has been so weakened and destroyed that she does not know how to produce a strong man.
Yes.
It is not that we don't have the potential or capacity, but we don't have the knowledge. And because we don't know how to do what we are born into the world to do, we miss our task. And the children are born into a world out of lust and passion, with no thought or planning.
That's right.
So somebody was going to have to come along to free the woman. Somebody was going to have to come along to put the woman in the right state and frame of mind. Give her the right frame of reference from which she could draw power to make a change.
Come on.
All praise is due to Allah. That somebody is the most Honorable Elijah Muhammad
That's right.
and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
That's right.
The force to change the reality of the way we live is correct knowledge deposited in the right place. Brothers and sisters, you can't produce or raise a God if the desire is absent.
Come on.
How many of you sisters have ever dreamed of producing someone into the world that will make a difference?
Come on.
I have, and I still dream of this.
That's right.
My mother was and is a praying woman.
Come on.
When I became an adult, I asked my mother, "What were you thinking when you were pregnant with me?" She said that she prayed that I would be a prophetess and a woman of God.
Come on.
All praise is due to Allah that all of her prayers were deposited in me, and I am growing to understand and embrace the God that is growing in me,
Yes, ma'am.
and learning how to nurture that God through feeding off the wisdom of God,
That's right. Come on.
coming through the Minister Louis Farrakhan,
Come on.
from his teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. How to produce a God has to be a preconception before the conception.
Come on.
You have to prepare the body and the mind for what will ultimately become a reality in your life. We don't want to hit and miss today. Let every time the womb opens up, God comes forward.
Come on.
But you can't stop at giving birth to a God, but you have to raise a God by nurturing the gifts and talents within the child so that they might realize God within themselves.
Come on.
Raising a God is a difficult task. God is not produced without struggle.
Yes.
The struggle of raising and becoming a God in a world that is contrary to God requires divine guidance and the supreme wisdom that only comes from Allah in the person of Master Muhammad.
That's right.
His messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and their divine reminder and mercy, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
That's right.
As parents and leaders, you must first take the medicine and make the transition into becoming a God yourself.
That's right.
And then you must require it of your children also. Master Muhammad studied for 42 years before he became the master teacher. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad studied under God for 3.5 years.
Come on now.
And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan studied 9 years before he became a master student.
Come on.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad told Minister Louis Farrakhan that he just needed to stand up and let Allah speak through him. And when Allah speaks through you, you become a God.
Come on.
Almost 40 years later, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan still says, I am a student. I love to see myself as a student. The better the student, the better the teacher when the student becomes one.
That's right, sister.
But even when a student becomes a teacher, that student should always be studying to keep on refining the teachings.
Hang on now.
So he can become a better teacher today than yesterday, and tomorrow a better teacher than today.
That's right.
Brothers and sisters, now is the time for your and my awakening, and our rising up again to take our proper and rightful place. So I thank you for letting me have these few moments in front of you, and may Allah bless us with the light of understanding. And I leave you as I came before you in the greeting words of peace we said in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.